Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 22nd. This week you have this crow spirit. It says you'll soon receive news that will bring some blessed experiences into your life. You have this infinite possibilities. It says you're going on the right path. Favorable energies are guiding you at this time. So that sounds amazing. Really good, Gemini. I think that there could be some much more positive times ahead for you, and you have the Wheel of Fortune. One thing I will say is that I'm always a little bit skeptical when a card repeats so many times, and almost every single person this week has had the Wheel of Fortune. So it could be like a collective energy, or there could be a collective change in fortunes, or people could just be more focused on it, changing their fortunes for whatever reason, and that could be what's going on here. I kind of get like a little bit of a sense of urgency from your reading here, Gemini, and this is not necessarily a bad thing. It's like sometimes we need that sense of urgency to get motivated, right? Sometimes we need to have a sense of urgency because it's the thing that gets us moving. The other interesting thing now is that you have 3 knights right here, and so these 3 knights all represent movement. The one that we're missing, the Knight of Pentacles, is the only one that represents no movement. So it does look like to me that there's some sort of like sense of urgency in your life, probably to create balance with the Justice card here. And the Justice card, of course, can represent justice and karma, but it could also just say that you have the sense of urgency to create some sort of balance in your life, or to balance things out in your life in some way. I kind of feel like I'm wondering, it's almost like you've seen the future. You have the Page of Swords here. The Page of Swords is very curious. He's a card of curiosity. But what's popping into my head is that this sense of urgency could be coming from the future. Maybe you don't realize that. So I feel like some of you do, but maybe others of you don't. And so if you have that feeling of sense of urgency, but you can't quite put your finger on it, it could be because of the future, or your future, or where you are moving in the future, like what you're moving towards. And I feel like the Page of Swords does encourage curiosity. So if you start thinking about like random stuff during the day, I would explore those ideas. Like you could randomly start thinking about like new ways to improve your finances, or you could think about ways to improve your health, or whatever it is. And it could just come out of nowhere. And, those are the types of thoughts that I would pay attention to with the Page of Swords. We also have the Tower here, and, the Tower can represent sudden insight, or suddenly kind of having an idea, or a flash of insight. There's this lightning bolt at the top of the Tower, and it kind of represents a light bulb moment, or having a sudden light bulb moment. And I kind of feel that here. Like any sudden ideas or any sudden insights that you're gaining this week, I would definitely look into those things. Again, the Tower does not always have to be a bad card. I know that people don't like it, but to me, the Nine of Swords is the worst card in the tarot in the first place. But I also don't think tarot is good or bad. I think tarot is loose guidance at best. It's like a map for the energy that you're dealing with right now, and that's all it is. So, I never worry about any of the cards. But what I would say is that I would pay attention to those flashes of insight. You have the Wheel of Fortune, just like everybody else. So, clearly there is something that could be happening this week. That it builds this sense of urgency inside of you. I think today is a pretty weird day. I'm shooting this video on the 17th, and so this video will be coming out on the 18th, but I made a prediction on the podcast, one of the podcasts I'm on, LOL, that I said I thought the 17th was going to be an interesting day, or that something interesting could happen. It's only like 8 o'clock in the morning right now, so the day hasn't even started, but what I would say is I do think that there could be some sort of event this week, the week of whatever this week is, the 15th, 16th, I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter. There could be something that happens like after the 17th, and it could be something that kind of gets you moving forward. It doesn't have to be global. It could be more a personal event in your life that happens on the 17th. So again, I know it's going to be a day late, but if you're watching this on the 18th or after, I would think back to Wednesday, I think today is, or what is today? Yeah, Wednesday. Whatever today is, I would think back to that time and like, did something happen? Did you have a flash of insight? Did you have a sudden realization, or almost like a revelation? And if you did, you might want to revisit those ideas, whatever you were thinking about. Again, it could happen later on in the week as well. So I would pay attention to any like light bulb moments, and anything that comes out of nowhere. Whenever we're just like kind of lost in thought, you cannot make this up. You have the Knight of Pentacles as your very first card here, but anytime you have any of those random ideas, I would think about it. The funny thing is Knight of Pentacles, first card, showing up in this first position. And Knight of Pentacles is no movement, but the rest of the reading here is movement. Is we have all the other knights, so it's kind of like you're going from no movement to sudden movement in this reading. With the Page of Swords, sorry, I'm losing my voice. You have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction, needing to set yourself free. Sometimes we need to have a Tower moment to be set free from something like the Eight of Swords. Again, the Tower can just represent seeing reality for what it is. So, again, one thing I will say is that, every Tower moment I've ever had has always led to something better. The whole point of the Tower is that you get reduced down to the Tower, you see reality, and then you rebuild your reality, you rebuild the Tower stronger, hopefully, the next time. And we go to the Eight of Pentacles. So it's like wherever, even if you are having a Tower moment, which again, I feel like this is more like a revelation. I would prefer to see the Judgment card show up as well, because Tower and Judgment is the most powerful combination in the tarot. It represents a revelation or having some sort of major, wake-up call or something like that. This kind of looks like a little one, right, that you could be having so far. And again, you could be in this building phase or the rebuilding phase. Eight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands is also the builder in the tarot. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Justice card, so again, there definitely could be balance or some sort of karmic justice coming in for you as well. And the Tower can be very karmic, so you could be also, like I said, it doesn't have to be a bad thing, could just be karmic justice. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Discus fish. It says society, vibrancy, and co-parenting. You have this prairie dog. It says cheerfulness and industry and gracious. So I feel for a lot of you, you are hard at work with the prairie dog, kind of like a busy little beaver, even though prairie dogs are not beavers. Yes, I totally get that. And that's kind of like what I feel here for you with this energy. The discus fish is kind of like a animal of sacrifice. If you don't know, I'm a super fish nerd, right? And I've worked at a bunch of aquariums when I was younger. And discus fish, when they have babies, their babies actually eat the slime off of their bodies. So that's how the babies grow. They eat the slime that the parents excrete off of their skin, their scales, whatever. And, that's popping into my head. I would never really talk about my fish nerdiness on video, but there you go. And I kind of feel that some of you need to, but it's almost like you need to be careful who is getting the slime off of your body. It's almost like you need to be careful who is consuming your energy and who is not. But I also feel that you just, you have the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is very bold and assertive, and she can be very inspirational. She's not necessarily an inspirational card, but what she does is inspiration, right? She goes off, the point of her is to be bold, assertive, and confident, and to go do something that could potentially inspire other people. Again, that's not the meaning of the card. I'm just connecting the two cards right now in my head. And, but what she does would definitely be inspirational because she's the card of learning as she goes. So other people might be inspired by her. And intuitively, I feel like that you could be kind of like feeding the world by doing something that is inspirational. It's definitely popping into my head. You have the Tower. Again, I feel that there could just be some sort of reality. You have the Tower on the bottom of your clarifying deck here as well, which is interesting. But, like I said, the Tower could be seeing reality for what it is. Again, the good news is that we go up here to the Eight of Pentacles. So it's like you could be seeing a reality or having a little bit of a reality check. But this reality check is getting you to work, with the Eight of Pentacles. And this way, we go to the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is like freedom. So really, a Tower moment could be setting you free. But again, like I said, I don't even intuitively feel it is a Tower moment. I think it's more of an idea, a revelation, a light bulb moment that you're having. You have the Hierophant. In a lot of ways, it is a very biblical reading for you here, Gemini, right? I feel in a lot of ways you could be almost downloading information from source with all the cards that are showing up here. So these, quote unquote revelations, I keep wanting to use that word. It could be very intuitive, or it could be coming from source or whatever you believe in, God, the universe, all of it all together. And so I would be trusting your messages that you are receiving at this time with the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the bridge between the heavens and the earth. So he communicates with both sides, but I feel like you are the message deliverer. You are the one that is probably delivering the message at this time. So let's see here, and I just messed this deck up. So hold on one second. We got to get a good shuffle for this reading going on here. But let's see what we have for you. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands about going on an adventure. We have wands right here. So you have the page, knight, and queen so far. This would definitely represent the start of an adventure or journey that you're going on. And I feel like you have to build things. Again, the queen of wands has to kind of learn as she goes. The knight of wands has to build. The page of wands just has to follow his inspirations. He just has to follow his enthusiasm. With the tower, you have the ace of pentacles. Yes, a big light bulb moment could be causing a tower moment in your life, but it could be leading to a much better opportunity is basically what this is saying. So the tower could be a good thing. You could be leaving an opportunity to get something better, and that could be what this is saying. Like, you could be leaving one job going to another. I see a lot of that going on right now. You could be just making changes in your life to grow. The ace of pentacles is like a garden, just growth in your life, and you could be doing things to create growth. With the Hierophant, you have the Knight of Wands again. So this right here would basically be the universe saying I meant what I said. Whenever a card repeats itself, it's kind of like confirmation for the reading. So I feel like this is confirmation that it's time for you to start building, especially with these two cards, both of them right here. And it's time for you to build something like new and great in your life. It could be yourself that you're building. You could just be working on yourself. It could be a business, a career, whatever. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this horse card. We see a million horses in this reading. Horses in the tarot represent assistance. So they represent getting help from, people, places, or things in guidance and assistance. You have the swan. You also have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is kind of like the swan in the tarot. The Knight of Cups and the Swan represent tapping into your emotions or exploring your emotions and kind of like looking into yourself, right? The Swan, sticks its head underwater to feed, and it represents the fact that it is going into the emotional realm for nutrients. The discus fish, the babies, are eating underwater. Obviously, fish, for the most part, don't come out on land unless you're a mud skipper, right? But for the most part, they live underwater. That's where they get their nutrition. And so that's also popping into my head that some of you, it's like diving into your emotions. You could be getting emotional fulfillment through exploring your emotions. The horse is all about motivation and building momentum. Like I said, we see a lot of horses, so there's probably going to be a lot of momentum that you're building. You have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is mastering your craft and getting to work, and it's also about getting a result. You end with this card, this bee spirit, and it says, sweet results await. So I feel for a lot of you that you are getting better results for the work that you're doing, and of course that could be a good thing. The Eight of Pentacles can say that you need to back up and you need to look at how much you have accomplished. Like, he has done all this work already, but he's just head down, nose to the grindstone. He's just doing the work. So I feel for a lot of you that sometimes maybe you do need to take a pause and see how much you have accomplished, put things into perspective, and see that you are making progress. So I think that would be a good thing for you. You have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is about building, like I said. It's funny that he is kind of facing towards the tower. So a lot of you could be rebuilding something, or you could be in a rebuilding stage of your life. So maybe the tower has already happened, and you are just kind of building it back up, or you are building something stronger back into your life. We also have the Knight of Cups to you, the lovers, Gemini, right here. So there could also be, I wouldn't really call this a love reading. I feel like this is more all about you, really. But, there could be a knight in shining armor coming in for you if you want it. I think the Knight of Cups is more talking about kind of assistance with the white horse. Again, more specifically, it is the white horses in the tarot that represent assistance. So you have you have two white horses in this reading, but which is good. There could be a lot of assistance or help. There's also water flowing in front of him. So, like I said, I think tapping into your emotions and seeing how you feel about the things that you give energy to could be definitely a good exercise. But also making sure that things nourish you, like I said, would be important. Now you have three white horses with the Eight of Pentacles. You have the Knight of Cups. Eight of Pentacles to the Knight of Cups would represent working on a dream. And I do kind of feel we have a few years here where it would be a really good idea to work on a dream, a goal, a wish, something like that. We have Neptune and Pisces. We also have Saturn and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces is the big impossible dream. You have that card that says infinite possibilities on it. And Saturn says, well, if you put the work in, if you make it happen, then it will happen. So now is time to work on a dream. With the Knight of Wands, you have the World. Definitely could be going on some sort of adventure. So if you're wanting to like do something in your life, or if you're wanting to create something great, now would be the time. The world is a card of accomplishment. I will say also that the Tower to the World can just represent a move. You have all these knights, which can represent moving as well. So if you're thinking about like moving, traveling, going on an adventure, you could be doing all of that. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Four Swords. Four Swords is like resting, relaxing, recovering. I think everybody should be recharging their batteries for the end of the year. We have Mars going retrograde. Mars retrograde, especially in Leo, which is our vitality, our personal health energy. And I feel that it would be a great year to make sure you're healthy now because, with astrology, I always say that astrology is like catching a wave. We can work on things that are coming up now and get ahead of the energy, or we can wait and nothing happens. So I would recommend, healing, resting, relaxing, recovering. You don't have anything that says this, but a lot of other signs have been getting messages about needing to go have fun. Again, I think when we fill our fun bucket, then, that energy kind of fulfills us in other areas of life as well. So, spending time with people who matter to you, embracing your hobbies, doing fun things is also a great way to fill the fun bucket. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Fox Spirit says, think on your feet. You have this Bee Spirit says, sweet results await. So you could be getting very positive results on that Eight of Pentacles based off of the work that you're doing. And that's definitely something I would pay attention to here. The Think on Your Feet card, again, I think we're in a time of flexibility. Gemini, you really don't have a problem with this. So, I'm not too worried about Gemini. I think Gemini's superpower is being able to, approach projects, businesses, health, their ideas from many different angles, right? And so part of thinking on your feet is just being flexible. If one way to do something doesn't work, do something else. Or, the Fox is about being a survivor and kind of adapting to your situation or your circumstances, but it's coming up in the good stuff. I feel like Gemini, this is your superpower anyway, not even worried about that. You have the Knight of Swords, the Four Wands, and the Lovers. I do feel that there could be communication rushing in. So if you do want love, like I said, I feel that there could be marriage potential. You have this, you have the Ace of Pentacles, which is the path to marriage. You have the Hierophant as well, the Knight of Cups twice. Definitely could be love coming in for you if you want it. And like I said, it could lead to marriage. The Knight of Swords and the good stuff, again, is about building momentum. I feel like you are building momentum towards the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is really a card of setting yourself free. This right here it's a card of completion, and the Four of Wands kind of comes up in life when we need to complete one stage, and we need to cross through this threshold right here, and we need to go celebrate on the other side. We need to go, do something different or have new experiences or whatever the case may be. So I think it would be a great time for you to, wrap things up, anything that needs to be wrapped up and get to the next stage. Again, could be marriage. So if you want love, looks pretty good. You show up here in a very strong position. Whenever you show up as yourself, this really puts you in a position of power and strength, really allows you to get what you want from the reading, but also, like I said, could be love coming in for you. So if you've been hoping for a connection, there could be a new connection coming in here. And you have all four knights, which is pretty interesting. So we'll have to see what's going on here with that energy. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, I feel like you're very clear. It's actually pretty good. Maybe you've been confused up until this point, and now you're gaining a bunch of clarity. I feel like today is the 17th of July, so this will be coming out on the 18th, but you could be noticing this week, the week before the 22nd, that you are feeling more clear on the direction you need to go in, which is good. With the Four of Wands, you have the High Priestess. Yeah, I would trust your intuition at this time. We are in a very intuitive time. Again, Neptune and Pisces. So even though Neptune is retrograde, I feel actually this is a good thing. Neptune is rather confusing, or can be confusing. When it goes retrograde, I think we can kind of get the clarity on the intuitive messages that we've been getting all along. And so you could actually be gaining clarity. And we have Mercury going retrograde and Mars going retrograde at the end of the year. But we're getting closer to that Mercury retrograde at the beginning of August. So you could be revisiting old intuitive ideas. And I kind of get that message here on this High Priestess, that you're revisiting things that were intuitive hits, and now you're kind of looking at them again and saying, oh, like maybe this is something. With the Lovers, you have the King of Cups. Could be a water sign coming in for some of you. Also, the King of Cups really has a very good handle on his emotions. On a traditional King of Cups, he's sitting in the deep ocean, and it represents his deep emotions, and he has explored his emotions, so great time to explore how you feel about things. You have this funnel. It says period of frustration, lessons to be learned. Yeah, no, I feel like you've learned a lot of lessons, and now you're kind of funneling those lessons into a focus, so you're becoming more focused. You have this gong card. It says an exciting event. This could be the tower. The tower could, again, just be a good thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. The tower can be a sudden insight or a sudden inspiration, and I kind of feel that for you, that there could be some sort of sudden light bulb moment that leads to something better. You have this nest. It says an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. So if you're looking for love, you could be, again, not really love reading. It does show up, but I think it's more about you. But if you do want love, there could be a person coming in for you. You have this other card that says discord among family or friends. I would be careful of where people are coming from. I think I said this in your mid-monthly reading as well. I get the same feeling here. I think that people that come, the advice you should be taking at this time is advice that comes from love, joy, happiness, and peace, the good feelings. I think that if people are giving you advice that's coming from fear and anxiety and all that other stuff, that is the advice you should ignore. Next, you have this basket card that says recognition, reward for merit. So that could be good as well. Sweet results await. There could be a reward or recognition coming in as well. But this looks really good, Gemini. I like where this is going. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.